Hi, in this session we will be looking at discussions. We'll be looking at discussions in the context of collaborative review sessions, supporting distributed stakeholders as part of the RFP response development efforts. Okay, let's get started. As ever, when you look at VisibleThread, you see a list of folders, in this case RFP 1 through 6, and a number of others on the left-hand side in the navigation area. And you also see that I'm currently selecting the vital statistics area. On the right, I'll draw your attention to some bubbles. We see that there are 4 discussion threads adjacent to RFP2 and 3 adjacent to RFP3. This tells me that there's some discussion associated with that given project, and indeed if we expand, we can see that there are specifically some discussions active around the statement of work and around the response document. Taking a different perspective, we can view all discussions for all projects and all documents across the sandbox in the Discussions tab. I'm going to go ahead and click on that tab. Here, once it shows, I see all discussions color-coded to identify type. Here we see an issue, and each discussion associated with its own document set, in other words, the folder, in this case RFP3. And finally, we also see the context of the discussion. Let's now drill into RFP3, and let's do this as if we were in the context of a review session. The benefit of this is that distributed reviews, which do not necessitate people to be in one location, can be conducted using the web and also over phone. So I'm going to go ahead and click on RFP3. This now brings me to the specific discussions for this particular folder. Here we see 3 potential issues that need resolution. We see a clarification being required. My colleague Fergal wishes to understand, do we have a understanding of commercially acceptable performance standards? Timely is being queried by Dan, and again Fergal is looking at language. So this forms the basis for a review. Review sessions within VisibleThread do not have to be bound to a specific time frame. Because the discussions are available on the web interface, any collaborator may enter an initial comment or may make a reply. In this case, we see that Fergal is pointing out that there is a need to tighten up language. Jill, who is currently logged in, is about to reply to that. She clicks the comment, hits the reply button, and states that she will tidy up prior to the formal review meeting. This means that effectively collaborators can interface at an earlier point during the development lifecycle of the RFP response and help to get a tighter and more efficient review session at a later point. So far, we have been looking at comments already entered into the system. Let's consider now how new comments might be added in a typical scenario. I'm currently signed in as Dan. Dan in this capacity is a proposal manager. Dan is looking at the statement of work and specifically the discovery section and has noticed by use of filtering on nouns that there is one mention of ESF. By clicking on the checkbox adjacent to ESF, Dan discovers that there is a need to address an emergency support function too. Dan is now interested to see if we have covered that out in terms of our response document. To do so, Dan selects the response document in the navigation pane on the left-hand side, and now using Discovery, he will filter on ES, and here we see that there is no ESF reference. Dan is very concerned at this juncture because essentially we need to speak the language of the offerer. Let's go ahead and log a comment against the executive summary. In other words, Dan would like the executive summary to have a reference to ESF. I go ahead and highlight the executive summary at a section level. I will then enter the comment title. I will mark that as a issue and flag it for consideration and review in next Friday's meeting. Once done, we can see that there is a bubble adjacent to Executive Summary. And if you draw your attention to the Discussions tab that we had previously looked at, we will see that this new discussion point is now part of the overall review. Okay, that brings this session to an end. Thank you so much for your time, and please do check out some of our other sessions on the VisibleThread website.